Since the most remote times, humanity has been fascinated by the extraordinary, the unusual, and the inexplicable. Throughout different eras, those with unique physical characteristics have been seen sometimes as freaks, sometimes as living miracles, but always as objects of fascination and mystery. In the circuses and fairs of the 19th and early 20th centuries, these people found a space where they could turn their differences into a means of livelihood, gaining both admiration and exploitation. Many of them faced prejudice, but they also challenged societal norms, showing that true strength goes far beyond appearance. Hello, restless minds. I am Code, and this is Discover It, where curiosity knows no limits. Subscribe and help the channel grow, because every time you like, comment, or share, you're helping us bring these discoveries to more people. Together, we can create a community where curiosity can change the world. What makes someone become a legend among the so-called circus freaks? Is it the rarity of their conditions, the resilience with which they faced life, or something deeper that draws us to their stories? Joseph Merrick was born in 1862 in England, and from an early age, his body began to change in an unusual way. His severe deformities, possibly caused by Procuse syndrome, made his life a constant challenge. Rejected by society and mistreated by his own father, he was eventually forced to perform in curiosity shows, where he was exhibited as the Elephant Man. Though this exposure was cruel, it was also what led to his discovery by Dr. Frederick Treves, a surgeon who changed his life by taking him to live at the London hospital. Imagine living in a time when anything different was enough to get you thrown into a freak show? Well, that's exactly what happened to Joseph Merrick. Outside the realm of exploitation, Merrick revealed himself to be a sensitive and intelligent man, passionate about literature and art. Despite his physical challenges, he maintained his dignity and impressed everyone with his worldview and resilience. His condition even prevented him from sleeping lying down, yet he never lost his humanity. His story raises a powerful question: how many people without visible marks also live imprisoned by their insecurities? Merrick showed us that true strength is not in appearance, but in the way we choose to face life. Born in 1811 in the Kingdom of Siam, now Thailand, Chong and Bunker entered the world joined at the sternum, sharing a band of cartilage and connective tissue. At a time when little was understood about conjoined twins, the pair evoked both astonishment and curiosity. Discovered by a British merchant, they were taken to Europe and the United States, where they began performing in exhibitions. However, unlike many who were exploited in this industry, the brothers knew how to use their fame to their advantage, accumulating wealth and ensuring their financial independence. After years of performances, Chong and Ng settled in North Carolina, where they bought land, married 2 sisters, and had an astonishing 21 children between them. To maintain family harmony, they followed a structured routine, alternating nights between their wives' homes. Although the medical field at the time questioned their ability to lead a normal life, they defied all expectations and built a legacy of adaptation and resilience. In the end, when Chong passed away, Ng died just hours later, proving that their connection transcended the physical and extended to an unbreakable emotional bond. Prince Randian was born in 1874 in British Guiana with a rare condition called tetramelia, which prevented him from developing arms and legs. From a young age, he learned to adapt impressively, performing daily tasks using his mouth and shoulders, defying all the limitations imposed by his body. His intelligence and extraordinary skills caught the attention of the entertainment world, leading him to become one of the top attractions at the Barnum and Bailey Circus. In his performances, Randian amazed audiences by lighting cigarettes on his own and performing tasks that seemed impossible for someone without limbs, leaving spectators in awe. Despite his life in the circus, Randian was far more than just a spectacle. He built a family, had 5 children, and spoke multiple languages, proving that his disability did not prevent him from being a complete man. Contrary to what many believed, he was not defined by his condition but by his willpower and determination. His story makes us reflect. How often do we let minor difficulties stop us from achieving our goals, while people like Randian turn obstacles into opportunities? Born in 1889 in Sicily, Francesco Lentini came into the world with an extraordinary condition, a fully functional third leg, the result of a parasitic twin that did not fully develop. From a young age, he faced looks of astonishment and curiosity, but instead of hiding, he learned to use his peculiarity to his advantage. Not only could he walk, but he could also run, kick balls, and even ride a bicycle with his third leg. At the age of 8, his family took him to the United States, where he quickly became a sensation in variety shows, turning his condition into a true talent. If life gives you a third leg, what do? In Francesco Lentini's case, he turned it into a show. And yes, he could kick a ball with it. Lentini did not see himself as someone limited, but as someone with a unique advantage. His charisma and sense of humor won over audiences who were impressed not only by his physical abilities, but also by his sharp intelligence. Unlike many who were exploited in this industry, he had control over his career, ensuring a prosperous future. He married, had children, and lived to be 78 years old, proving that the real barriers are those imposed by society, not physical differences. His story teaches us that accepting who we are can be the key to turning challenges into opportunities. Grady Stiles Jr. was born in 1937 with ectrodactyly, a rare genetic condition that caused his hands and feet to have a claw-like appearance similar to a crustacean's. From an early age, he was introduced to the world of variety shows following his family's tradition. Despite the difficulties in walking, Grady developed impressive upper body strength, moving with agility using his arms. On stage, he was a fascinating attraction, but off stage, his story took a dark turn. Over time, Grady became a feared figure, descending into alcoholism and growing increasingly violent. His aggressive behavior culminated in the murder of his daughter's fiancé, a crime for which he was not imprisoned due to a lack of infrastructure to accommodate his physical needs. Years later, his own family, terrified by his violent outbursts, hired a hitman to assassinate him. The boy who once captivated audiences with his resilience became a symbol of how marginalization and suffering can shape a tragic fate. Isaac Sprague was born in 1841 in Massachusetts and had a normal childhood until, at the age of 12, he began to lose weight drastically and inexplicably. Despite having a proper diet, his body seemed incapable of storing fat or developing muscle, leaving him extremely frail. With no medical explanation for his condition, he found a way to survive in variety shows, becoming known as the living skeleton. Weighing just over 20 kilograms in adulthood, his appearance shocked audiences who saw him as a true medical mystery. Despite his fame, Sprague's life was marked by constant hardship. He dreamed of a life away from the spotlight and even married and had children, but his fragile health prevented him from supporting his family in a conventional way. With no alternatives, he was forced to continue performing until his final days. He passed away at the age of 46, leaving behind a legacy of medical curiosity and a reflection on how one's own body can become a prison. His story reminds us that often the greatest battles are not visible to the naked eye. Myrtle Corbin was born in 1868 in Tennessee with dipygus, a rare condition caused by an incomplete twin separation, resulting in the partial duplication of the lower body. Despite having 4 legs, she was healthy and could move without major difficulties. At the age of 13, she was discovered by entertainment entrepreneurs and quickly became one of the most popular attractions in variety shows. Unlike many who were exploited, Myrtle and her family saw her condition as an opportunity to secure a stable financial future. But her life was not limited to the stage. Myrtle married James Clinton Bicknell and surprised the medical community by giving birth to healthy children, something few believed possible due to her unique anatomy. Even after defying all expectations, she lived a relatively quiet life away from the spotlight in her later years. Her story was not just a biological curiosity, but a powerful example of how limitations imposed by others can be overcome with determination. Charles Stratton was born in 1838 in Connecticut with a rare form of dwarfism that caused his growth to nearly stop at 6 months old. By the age of 5, he was only 64 centimeters tall and weighed about 6 kilograms, which sparked both curiosity and concern. However, his intelligence and charisma caught the attention of the legendary showman P.T. Barnum, who saw him as a true performer rather than just an exotic attraction. Under Barnum's mentorship, Stratton learned to sing, dance, and portray historical characters, becoming an international celebrity under the stage name General Tom Thumb. Small in size, giant in charisma, General Tom Thumb proved that talent has nothing to do with height. Throughout his career, Stratton performed for packed audiences, including Queen Victoria and Napoleon III, and amassed a considerable fortune. Unlike many performers in variety shows, he managed to turn his condition into a life of luxury and recognition. His marriage to Lavinia Warren, who also had dwarfism, was a major event of the time and widely covered by the press. Stratton lived to be 45 years old, proving that talent and determination matter far more than any physical limitation imposed by society. Stefan Bobrowski was born in 1891 in Poland with hypertrichosis, a rare condition that caused his body to be covered in a thick layer of golden hair, reaching up to 20 centimeters in length. From a young age, his appearance caused astonishment, and his mother, frightened, believed he was born that way because she had witnessed a lion attack during pregnancy. As a child, he was discovered by entertainment entrepreneurs and began performing as Lionel the Lion-Faced Man, becoming one of the most popular attractions of the time. Behind his exotic appearance, Lionel was a cultured, educated, and refined man who spoke several languages and carried himself with elegance. Contrary to the wild man image the public expected, he surprised everyone with his intelligence and kindness. After years of traveling with major shows, he chose to step away from the stage and live a quiet life in Germany. Stefan Bobrowski passed away in 1932, leaving behind a legacy that challenges the notion that appearance defines a person's worth. Annie Jones was born in 1865 in Virginia with hirsutism, a condition that causes excessive hair growth on the face and body. From infancy, her unusual appearance attracted attention, and by 9 months old, she was already part of P.T. Barnum's famous circus, being advertised as the Esau baby. Unlike many who were exploited in the industry, Annie used her condition to build a respected career, becoming one of the most well-known performers of the 19th century. Over time, Annie refined her image and began presenting herself in a sophisticated manner, wearing elegant clothing and challenging the feminine standards of the era. Beyond entertainment, she became an advocate for the rights of performers with uncommon conditions, fighting for them to be treated with dignity. Unfortunately, she passed away at 37 due to tuberculosis, but her legacy endures, proving that a person's true identity goes far beyond appearance. Schlitzie was born in 1901 with microcephaly, a neurological condition that resulted in a smaller-than-normal skull and cognitive difficulties. His distinctive appearance and childlike behavior led him to be taken into variety shows at a very young age. In the circus, he became one of the most beloved attractions, enchanting audiences with his spontaneous joy, contagious laughter, and pure personality, traits that made him an icon of entertainment. Despite spending his life under the care of others, Schlitzie found a kind of family within the circus. His role in the film Freaks 1932 made him even more famous and cemented his image as a symbol of innocence and authenticity. He lived until the age of 70, being remembered not just for his condition but for the emotional impact he had on everyone who met him. His story makes us reflect on what truly defines a person's worth: appearance, intelligence, or the ability to bring joy to others. Eli Bowen was born in 1844 in Ohio with phocomelia, a rare condition that caused his legs not to develop, leaving his feet attached directly to his hips. From a young age, he refused to be treated as incapable and developed remarkable upper body strength. Determined to overcome his limitations, he trained tirelessly and became a skilled acrobat, defying the medical and social expectations of the time. Eli Bowen proved that not having legs didn't stop anyone from putting on a show. The guy was an acrobat and performed better than many people with 2 fully functional legs. Unlike many performers who were showcased solely for their physical traits, Eli insisted on being recognized for his genuine talent. His agility and balance made him one of the most respected artists in variety shows. Beyond his successful career, he married, had 4 children, and lived to be 79, proving that the real barriers exist more in people's minds than in physical limitations. Frances O'Connor was born in 1914 in the United States without arms due to a rare congenital condition. From an early age, she amazed everyone by developing an extraordinary skill, using her feet with the same dexterity as others use their hands. She learned to write, sew, paint, and even serve tea with elegance, proving that her independence went far beyond what society expected at the time. Her incredible adaptability led her into the world of entertainment, where she became an admired attraction, not just for her condition but for her incredible skill. Unlike many performers who were exploited, Frances built a respectable career and became a symbol of perseverance. Her story makes us reflect on how many limitations are imposed not by the body but by the mindset of those around us. Felix Wehrle was born in the late 19th century in Germany with a rare genetic condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which made his skin incredibly elastic and flexible. He could stretch it in unbelievable ways, pulling the skin from his face to cover his eyes or extending his stomach to seemingly impossible lengths. His ability caught the attention of variety shows, where he quickly became one of the most intriguing attractions of the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Despite the fascination his condition caused, Felix knew that his hyperflexible skin also presented challenges, making him more susceptible to injuries and slower healing. However, he managed to turn his anomaly into a spectacle that defied the scientific understanding of the time. His story makes us reflect on how unusual traits can be seen as both limitations and gifts. It all depends on how we choose to perceive them. Ella Harper was born in 1870 in Tennessee with a rare condition called congenital genuricurvatum, which caused her knees to bend backward, making walking difficult. To move around, she learned to walk using both her hands and feet, earning her the nickname the Camel Girl. Her unusual appearance attracted the attention of the entertainment world, and she soon became one of the main attractions of W.H. Harris's nickel plate show, fascinating crowds. However, unlike many performers in the industry, Ella didn't want to spend her life on stage. After a few years, she decided to leave the circus and use the money she earned to invest in her education, seeking a more private life. In an era when few women had autonomy over their choices, her decision was an act of courage. Her story serves as a powerful reminder that true freedom lies in defining one's own destiny, regardless of others' expectations. Fannie Mills was born in 1860 in Ohio with Milroy's disease, a rare genetic condition that caused severe lymphedema, resulting in enormous feet that could measure up to 48 centimeters in length. Her unusual appearance attracted attention from an early age, and faced with the difficulty of leading a conventional life, her family decided to introduce her to the world of variety shows. She was promoted as the Bigfoot Girl of Ohio, and to generate even more curiosity, promoters launched a campaign offering a cash prize to any man willing to marry her. 48 centimeters feet. While people worry about choosing the right shoes, Fannie Mills had to deal with giant feet and still carried on without letting that define who she was. Despite the sensationalist way she was marketed, Fannie maintained her dignity and surprised audiences with her grace and intelligence. She found genuine love with William Brown, who saw beyond her appearance. Unfortunately, her health deteriorated due to complications from her condition, and she passed away at a young age. Her story raises a profound question. How often do we judge a person's worth solely by their appearance, ignoring their true essence? Alice Doherty was born in 1887 in Minnesota with a highly rare condition called congenital lanuginosa hypertrichosis, which caused her face and body to be covered in a thick layer of golden hair. Unlike other performers in variety shows, her family managed her career in a more controlled manner, ensuring that she was not exploited to the same extent as many others with similar conditions. Nevertheless, her appearance sparked intense curiosity, making her one of the most fascinating attractions of her time. Unlike many performers who spent their entire lives in the spotlight, Alice took a more reserved path. After a few years of performing, she decided to leave the entertainment world for good and lived a quiet life until her death at 46. Her story makes us reflect on society's obsession with what is considered abnormal and how people are often reduced to their appearance, when in reality, there is so much more behind their stories. Fyodor Jevtichu was born in 1868 in Russia with generalized hypertrichosis, a rare condition that caused his face and much of his body to be covered in a dense layer of hair. From an early age, he was taken by his father, who also had the condition, to perform in variety shows. When he was brought to the United States, his story was heavily sensationalized. Posters claimed he had been raised by wolves and could not speak, even though he was actually an educated and multilingual young man. Throughout his life, Jojo worked with P.T. Barnum and became one of the most popular attractions in the world. He defied audience expectations by demonstrating intelligence and refinement, contradicting the wild man persona that had been crafted for him. Even though he was marketed as a primitive curiosity, he made sure to reveal his true self. He performed in shows until his death in 1904, leaving behind a legacy that makes us question how society judges and labels people based solely on their appearance. Priscilla Lawther was born in 1911 in Puerto Rico with hypertrichosis, a rare genetic condition that caused her face and body to be covered in a thick layer of dark hair. From an early age, her appearance sparked curiosity, and with few opportunities available, her family introduced her to the world of variety shows. She was marketed as the Monkey Girl, and her story was exaggerated to attract crowds, with posters claiming she had been raised in the jungle by wild animals, a common promotional tactic at the time. Despite how she was advertised, Priscilla was a charismatic woman with a strong personality. During her performances, she engaged with audiences and demonstrated that, beneath her unusual appearance, she was just as human as anyone else. She found love with Emmett Bajano, known as the Alligator Man, and together they challenged societal norms. Her story reminds us how often people are judged by their outward appearance rather than the depth of their character. Emmett Bajano was born with harlequin ichthyosis, a rare genetic condition that caused his skin to grow and shed constantly, creating a thick, scaly texture similar to that of a reptile. Due to his unique appearance and the lack of effective treatments at the time, he eventually joined the world of variety shows, where he became known as the Alligator Man. Despite the physical difficulties caused by his condition, he found in the circus not just a means of livelihood, but also a way to connect with others who were also seen as different. Imagine having skin so unusual that people call you the Alligator Man. Emmett Bajano not only lived with it, but also found the love of his life in the circus. It was in this environment that he met Priscilla Lawther, the Monkey Girl, who was also part of the entertainment world due to her hypertrichosis. The two fell in love and married, forming an unlikely couple in the eyes of society, but proving that love knows no standards. Together, they challenged prejudices and showed that behind appearances were people with feelings, dreams, and hopes. Emmett Bajano's story was more than just a spectacle. It was a lesson in acceptance, resilience, and the human ability to see beyond the surface. Subscribe and help the channel grow, because every time you like, comment, or share, you're helping us bring these discoveries to more people.